This is the time where we get to share our books with you. You get to share your books with us. It's super simple. Throughout the week, whatever books you get, whether they be at a local comic book shop, whether they be a mail call, whether they be an AOK, they could be 10 years old, 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old. They could be 2 days old. We want to see what you got fresh from the comic shop by tagging us on Instagram at Comic Book Canon. That is right, at Comic Book Canon. But you can also do the old hashtag, which is hashtag FFTCS. Hashtag FFTCS. That's right. We'll leave it up here for a little bit as we go through this fresh from the comic shop. We got to say, we get so much entries from you guys, and it's so humbling. We appreciate it, every entry. We're going to cut down on our books. Instead of 5, we're going to start showing 3 because this segment last week was 45 minutes long, and that is just a long show after a long week and after a long day and trying to just kind of ease into the weekend. So we appreciate you guys more than we appreciate us. Sorry about that, Justin, but we are cutting your books down to 3 instead of 5. You're the first guest that is going to have to encounter that. But since you are the guest, you get to go first and show us your fresh get of the week, your first fresh get of the week. What do we got?
All right, so I'm going to go with... and I'm a newer. I mean, I buy a lot of new stuff, really into the new stuff. So this is a really cool version variant from the new Magic the Gathering book that came out from Boom Studios. It is Liliana Vest. I actually used to play a lot of Magic the Gathering, tried to go semi-pro at one point. I was so into the game. So I am so excited that Boom has picked this up, and just a beautiful cover here of Liliana. She is essentially this zombie controlling type of planeswalker. Basically all those skulls that you can see down there, she could bring all them to life if she wanted to. But so beautiful artwork. Artwork is Ig Guara. I don't know if I'm saying that right. This is the 1 in 25 variant that they have here.
That is a beautiful, beautiful cover there. That Magic the Gathering, it's doing well. It's but it's also kind of a niche market too, wouldn't you say?
Big time. Oh yeah, for sure. I really don't know what this means for them to do a comic book about it or not. The story was good, but I don't know if a lot of people can get into it, to be honest, because there's just it's a whole world. It's a separate world altogether. So I don't know. We'll see.
Absolutely. I'm just seeing that P. Keel farted. So he says, but here's the thing, P. Keel, I did hit you up on Instagram because we missed your entry last week and I felt really bad about it. I don't know if you sent another one in this week, but if you did, I apologize. I didn't see it. I did hit you up. I wanted to make sure you did, but I'm glad your digestive system works well. Very happy about that. Chris, you're next. What do you got? One of your fresh gets of the week. Oh, actually, no. What do I do, Chris?
Let's do an audience.
We got to go to the community.
Yep.
Because here we go. We are going to start with AZ Mailman 211.
Yeah.
Arizona Comics as well. I love this, man.
Nice.
2019 New York Comic Con photo variant covers to Covrprice #1, limited to 500 each. I'm not sure what these are going for. I love this show, guys. And I love these covers even more. This is freaking awesome. I had no idea that these even existed, but that is a great, great fresh get from AZ Mailman, I think Arizona Comics. Guys, what are your thoughts on Cobra Kai?
It's dope. It's definitely dope. I need to watch the show, man. I have not been watching any of it.
You got to see it. It's an easy watch, too. Easy watch.
I just binged it in like 2 days. When's the next season coming, man? That's what I want to know.
They are confirmed, I think, for 4 and 5. I don't know if they started production on 4 yet. Season 3 was good. I mean, it's just so much. It's so easy to watch. It's just an easy kind of, I don't binge much, but like if I need to sit down for an hour, I can bang out 2 episodes. So anyways, absolutely. Thank you for sending them in, Planet Arizona Comics, a.k.a. AZ Mailman 211. Follow them on the Instagram. We're going to go to another one of our audience members here. This is good friend Dan De La Torre. He's always bringing the heat each and every week. As he says, here's this week's fresh from the comic shop. 2 books I'm hoping pay off in the upcoming Doctor Strange movie. Strange Tales 148, first appearance of Kalu, and Doctor Strange 174, the first appearance of Satanish. I don't know, man. I don't know. This Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness, anything can happen.
Yep.
Anything can happen, as we've seen by the casting of Alfred Molina, Jamie Foxx, the rumored casting of Garfield and Maguire. We'll see. That's not confirmed. People are like acting like this is confirmed, but it is going to be interesting because they are absolutely opening the door. Alfred Molina confirmed that he is the Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2. And his story is going to start from where he was kind of sinking in the water. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. I hope that does pay off for you, Dan. Thank you so much for sending those in. Chris, you are up next. What do you got fresh from the comic shop?
All right. This book, I'm going to take it out of the bag because it has a big old sticker in front of it, and I want you guys to see the whole thing. This is a little, book that had no love until recently. Why? 2 words. Monica Rambeau, Captain Marvel, #1. So basically, this is another one. We have the giant size Captain Marvel, which was where did that come out? 80, 88, 89. And that's her first solo title. That one's gotten super hot. I mean, upwards to hundreds of dollars in high grade. This one, not quite that, but this was a few years later. I think it came out in 93. It was another just, one shot, having her as Captain Marvel. Free your mind. And like I said, it's definitely picked up. I don't know fair market value right now, but I was able to find this just for a few bucks. I seen like a few months ago, I think when the show was going on, WandaVision, some were selling for like $20 and $30. So, probably again, another dollar bin book that just you get a character that has been getting so popular, especially from the, MCU and the rest is history.
Yeah, that's a good pick up there. And I think we talked about this before. Justin, I don't know if this applies to you. Excuse me. But growing up, for me, that was my first Captain Marvel. I didn't know any other Captain Marvel. She was like the leader of the Avengers, and I'm psyched to see her having a more prominent role in the MCU, and especially going back and seeing all these books that she was in or that came out, her solo adventures. It's really exciting to see. As we know, she's been Spectrum. She's also been Photon. So we'll see what route they want to go. But those definitely have a play within what they're doing in the MCU. All right, let's see what we got here from more of your fresh gets. We got Disney Funko Family, another awesome mail call. Spider-Man's Spider Shadow #1, Miko Suyan exclusives, and the awesome new hero Calico from Sigma Comics. The collection keeps getting bigger.
Wow,
that's a really beautiful cover. And this is the Chip Zdarsky series, right? Where they explore the what if basically Spider-Man becomes Venom.
Yep,
I do believe so. I'm intrigued. I do like Chip Zdarsky's work. I love those covers. That's insane. Disney Funko Family, good job on that. That looks fantastic. And guys, here's another one. This is a good spec pickup right here. If you can still find it. It's probably beyond the spec because people have already been talking about. But we got Goon Lurker. What you know about War Machine. That's right. Iron Man 284. Rhodes becomes the new Iron Man by donning the War Machine armor. It's a nice book to have, and I think Tony's in like a coma or something like that. So again, Rhodey steps in to become Iron Man, but this time he goes in a different direction and actually becomes War Machine. I don't think they officially call him War Machine in this book. I can't remember which book it is that they do, but that is a great pickup, especially with the series Armor Wars coming out, guys. Another MCU series we can all really be excited about and look out for.
Hell yeah.
All right, guys, my fresh get of the week. Here we go. I love this book. And, I got this late. I think this came out 2 weeks ago, but this cover came out this week. This is Geiger, the glow-in-the-dark variant cover. Oh, and as you can see, you can kind of see it in the reflection where the glow-in-the-dark is. It's a skull.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool.
I
freaking love this. The story was excellent. I'm a huge fan of Gary Frank's artwork. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar. He did Superman Origins back in the day, probably 10 years ago. And his Superman, it looks just like Christopher Reeve. It just blew me away. But I mean, this is I implore you guys. I think this is on the 3rd printing now of the regular issue. I would pick this up, and this is really this is an impressive piece of work. I really enjoyed reading that. That is my first fresh get of the week. Moving on, guys. What do we have? We have another fresh get. Obviously, we have Gus 420 and X. I do believe he's in the chat here. He's known on YouTube as Comic Toby. Nonstop Spider-Man 1 and 2 with short box. So you got the short box. I have seen those actually in the
Nice.
local comic shops there.
That's cool.
Guys, first of all, as we know, Justin's father did have a variant for the first issue. That second issue cover is outstanding. I don't remember who drew that right there. I remember reading about it. I read the first issue. I was not too into this series, to be honest with you guys. I'm not going to pick up 2, but I really do like that second cover. So that is a nice, fresh get comic. Toby, really happy that you sent that in. We really appreciate it. And we have Nerds Being Geeks.
Oh,
Whoa.
Follow them on
Yeah,
YouTube
buddy.
as well. Look at this, guys.
Love
Look
that
at
cover.
this. This is what he says. I couldn't make it to the comic shop because of snow. That's crazy. So fresh from the comics. So fresh from CBCS. Well played. Fantastic Four 49. Second appearance of Silver Surfer, but first cover appearance, first full appearance of Galactus, and first cover appearance as well for him. Video of the full CBCS haul up on the Nerds Being Geeks YouTube channel. Check them out. He just hit 25 subscribers, and we congratulate you on that. So guys, I do believe we have a link for Nerds Being Geeks down below. We also have a link for Justin, who's up next. No Good Comics, guys, follow him. But Justin, what did you get? Your second fresh get of the week. What do you got?
All right, so I'm wearing a Marvel shirt, and I'm a big X-Men fan, big Daredevil fan. I've always been a big Marvel guy for this time that I've really been involved with collecting comics. But this next book, I'm not a DC guy. I showed that before when I couldn't even name Green Arrow. I don't know if you guys are reading Nightwing. This is Tom Taylor that's writing this. Issue 79 that just came out. Guys, 78 is a jumping on point for anybody. I've never read Nightwing before in my life. Issue 78, I've never gotten teary-eyed from a comic book before until I read issue 78. This is the one that follows it, continuing with Tom Taylor. It's a fresh start. Amazing, absolutely amazing read, amazing series. Highly recommend it. And the artwork's incredible too. It's by this guy Redondo, who I'm not as familiar with, but incredible read for sure.
Yo, I'll tell you what. My the comic book shop manager for my local comic book shop, he's like he's hit or miss with his recommendations, and he'll admit that. But he told me about Nightwing 78. That's before there was any heat on it, because that thing shot up because of a bunch of rumors or whatever. But that was an excellent read. And I have that issue you have right there. I have not read it yet, but oh my gosh, I was like, wow, I'm in. I'm all in after reading 78. So I'm psyched to read 79. So that's a nice fresh get right there. Chris, I highly recommend you read that, as well as the audience too. Chris, I know you would absolutely like it.
Yeah. My son reads Nightwing. So my little dude.
I would give that a try. Before we move on to yours, Chris, we are gonna hit up another one. Never Ending Stories Comics. Sorry. Strange Tales number 170, published in 1973, titled Baptism of Fire. This is the second appearance of Brother Voodoo. This is another classic, in my opinion, with Drum fully becoming Brother Voodoo to the full extent in the showdown between him and Dabala, the man who murdered his brother. Guys, Brother Voodoo is an interesting character. As we know, he's involved with the Strange Academy series. He's involved in Doctor Strange lore. I mean, there's a good chance we may see him in Doctor Strange too. So Never Ending Stories Comics, that is a fantastic pickup right there. That is a nice fresh get right there. Who else do we got, Chris? Who else? We have Raw Dog Comics. This is where it began for me. Saturday morning cartoons, Shazam. As you can see, he's got the Super Friends and Shazam right there, but those are kind of like the takeoff of the cartoons from the 70s. I have to say, I was a huge Super Friends fan. Huge. I mean, Spider-Man did it for me, but Super Friends was it. I got so excited on Friday nights to wake up on Saturday to watch these cartoons. So I'm feeling you, Raw Dog Comics. Absolutely, that's a great pickup. Chris, what do you got? Fresh gets of the week. What do you got?
All right, next up, this is a really big spec right now, at least in my book. I hear nobody talking about it, but you know what I do? I do my research and and then I talk about it. And I'll tell you what, I usually talk about things before I even buy them, because it's funny. And I'm kind of getting off subject here, but I got to say this before I show this book off. I do a lot of, top books to invest in, spec books and whatnot, based on movies or whatever the case might be. And it's so funny because I kid you not, guys, I will do my research, make my videos, and then after I make my videos, then I'll go try to get some that I've talked about that I don't have, and I already see, you guys buying them before I can. But this one is one that I, not purposely, but I have not talked about yet. And I went and picked up, but I am going to talk about it now. And this is a sleeper because I think this can absolutely happen. We know Morbius movie is coming out. All right. We know there's a Blade movie coming out. Now we know Morbius is Sony and Blade is strictly Marvel Studios. But what did we just talk about in the news? Sony and Marvel cuddling up together, spooning on Sunday mornings. And it's a beautiful relationship right now. So I picked up Fear number 24, the first meetup of Blade and Morbius.
Oh, nice.
And this is the first Blade appearance outside of Tomb of Dracula.
Never seen that one.
That is nice.
And get this, it is in almost like I could give it it's got a little bit of spine stress, non-color breaking. I can give this a press and it would be close to some form of near mint, right? 9.0, maybe a little more, except for one thing. It came, I don't know if you guys can see this. It came off the press. Oh man, it came off the press, off-centered. You see that? You see how it's high cut here, low cut here, but then you see the press, the pressing cuts. You see the little ding, ding, ding. That's from the cut when it was cut. So I know that, if you're sending into CGC and whatnot, sometimes when it comes to manufacturing issues like that, they're very lenient on those things. So I would be very interested in pressing this up and maybe sending it off to get graded because it's a high grade looking book.
That is a nice pickup. You're absolutely right. It's common. Like you got Blade coming. You got obviously Morbius is in the can. It's just waiting to be released. So it's going to be interesting to see how much more crossover there will be with the Sony universe there. The Sony Marvel universe, what they call it, the SMU or something like that. I don't even know. It's awful. Anyways, but you know what's not awful are these additional fresh gets here from our audience. This is an interesting one, guys. Red Room Comics sent this in. He says, one of my personal grails from last year. Yeah. The Air Pirates were a group of cartoonists who created 2 issues of an underground comic called Air Pirates Funnies in 1971. Leading to a famous lawsuit by Walt Disney. So what I'm guessing happened here, guys, is that the Air Pirates took the likeness of Mickey Mouse and put him into a story, and it led to a lawsuit. So this is obviously a rare book. Only 2 issues came out. Red Room Comics. I would love to hear more information about this. I guess we could do research because there is such a thing as the internet. But it's more fun coming from you because you are passionate about it since it is one of your grails. That is an interesting get. It's something I'd never heard of before. I'm not sure about you guys as well. But that's a nice, it almost looks golden age, although I think he did say it came from the 70s. Mm-hmm. All right. Moving on here to this next get. This is a nice pickup of a bunch of indie books here from Ryan Demesman. He just tagged us to Fresh from the Comic Shop and at Comic Book Canon, which is supposed to do to get our attention. So we put these up. He didn't say much about it, but he's got some nice ones here. You got, You Promised Me Darkness. You got Geiger. That's one I have. Radiant Black. Stray Dogs is another one that's a hot series. It's kind of it's a crossover, I do believe, from what is Clarice? What is that? The frickin' Hannibal.
It's like no, shoot, now I'm
Silence of the Lambs.
Yes, but it stars dogs, is what it is. It's interesting. It's getting a lot of heat, a lot of buzz about
very
that.
Good.
So thanks for sending those in, Ryan Demesman. That's a nice indie pickup. Send us again next week. Comment on these books. We'd love to hear what you think about that. But I'm going to comment on my second fresh get from the week, and that is I picked this up today, guys. There's a lot of talk about when the mutants are coming to the MCU and all that good stuff. And this is just classic book. Barry Windsor Smith, another favorite artist of mine, outstanding. Marvel Comics presents number 73. This is not 72 where it starts, but this is like a 12-issue series of the origin of Wolverine, which they never did up until then. So this is number 73. I got it for $2.
Wow, nice.
It's not in the greatest shape. 72 is going for some money. If you look at Covrprice, it is going for about over $50. This is again, I found it for $2. Classic Barry Windsor Smith right there.
Dope cover.
And they're talking about maybe adapting some of this stuff from in the MCU of Wolverine. We'll see, but for $2, I was like, I can't. You can't go wrong right there. So that is my fresh get of the week right there. Before we move on, I want to remind you all, Chris, we should remind them about how they can get us their fresh gets. It's super simple.
Yes,
you see this hashtag right here? Tag us on Instagram, hashtag FFTCS, or go to our Instagram at Comic Book Canon, follow us, and tag us on there each and every week. We will do our best to get you up there. Most every week we make it, we get everybody up there. I may, miss here and there, which I did to Pete Keel last week, and I apologize. But for the most part, we will. Now, if you have multiple pictures you're sending us, we may not be able to get all of them in. But again, hashtag FFTCS or at Comic Book Canon. All right, moving on. Before we get to you, Justin, we are going to see some audience gets. What do they have here? We have Shadow Rat. He's got some indie books here too, and these I like this. Arrived in the mail today. He says, finally got the Berserker #1 second print Garni foil. Also got the ENIAC #2 and Tankers #1. We had Robert Vendetti, we had Dinesh Shamdasani on consecutive weeks talking about Bad Idea. Those are some great gets right there, guys. Y'all know what happened to ENIAC. Tankers is just as good too. Really enjoying it. I have ENIAC too as well. I have not read that. And Berserker, that print run is massive. But there are some really, really cool covers there, and those are some great gets for you. Thank you for sending those in, Shadow Rat. One more here before we get to you, Justin. We got good friend of the show, Swagglehaus Comics. I love what he says here.
Man,
why it's so important to go to the LCS on Saturday. Found this little gem for $15. Swagglehaus. Wow. And we all know this is the first appearance of Val, and I can't say her full name because I don't know how to say her full. I don't. It's a long name. Chris, can you say it?
Contessa.
We got Val and Contessa. She doesn't like to be called Val though, based off of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Swagglehaus, kudos. All right, Justin, your turn.
Wow.
From the
Allegro.
What do you got?
Jeff, I wanted to ask you, since we were talking about where we're from, do you shop at Royal Collectibles?
That's where I go.
So this next book I got from Royal, it came in. It arrived last week, but
that's awesome.
So that's literally I walked there. Mike, the local, he's the manager of the shop, and he's awesome.
I talk with Bob, and he does the live videos every Wednesday. They're the ones that got me. They got me new books. One because I wasn't going to my LC. I wasn't going anywhere, obviously with the pandemic. So I had to order from somewhere. So they started doing them a year ago. And they just hit a year. It was like 2 weeks ago. They hit a year of doing live streams. And so they did a special where they had all these extra books. I don't know if you caught it, but they do live every Wednesday. And so this book I got from that live stream, but they're great. Bob and the crew.
Yes, they're very excellent. Really good comic shop, really good people to talk with. I literally spend too much time there. I usually go during the day when my daughter's preoccupied with school, and I end up being there for like an hour. Anyways, what did you get from my local comic shop? That's so cool.
So again, I'm a Marvel guy. I swear I am. Although I guess I haven't been reading a lot of Marvel recently. This isn't even indie, which is another thing I've been obsessed with. This is another DC book. Got this from Royal. Nice little first appearance here. Harley Quinn.
What?
Yeah, mid-9s, it's like 9.2, 9.0, and I know they're pretty good with their grading over there at Royal, so I trust them very well. But I've been obsessed recently. I've been reading a lot of Tynan's Batman recently. I'm just loving everything about it. I love the whole Punchline stuff. I'm currently trying to catch up before this whole Miracle Molly thing comes out and things like that. But generally speaking, I'm just falling in love with this, and really, I think I need to get a DC shirt because that seems like the direction I'm going right now.
That is a great pickup. Congratulations on that.
Oh, man, thanks.
Yeah, and Royal Collectibles of Astoria. They also have another bigger store that's not as close by me. I'm the one in Astoria, but man, That is crazy. That's really cool.
Hell yeah.
All right, moving on. That's a great book. That's your third and last book of the week. Again, we're concentrating more on you guys than we are about us. But this is the last one from our audience right here. This is from Vinny Whitlock. Love what he sends in each and every week. Mail call today. He says, Tales to Astonish, number 45. The second appearance of the Wasp and second Egghead appearance in a 5.5 condition, another double dip book in amazing condition, and at an even better price. Very happy, he says. You know, with these characters, guys, the Wasp, she's a mainstay in the MCU. You may as well start looking for these second appearances. That is a smart play. Well played. Oh, we have one more, actually. I'm sorry, we have one more. Well played, Vinny Whitlock. We'll save the other one for after Chris. Chris, what do you got? Your last book of the week, fresh from the comic shop.
All right, well, I had a couple here, and I was trying to figure out which one to do. I had a nice modern variant, new release variant that I wanted to show off just because I love the cover, but I'm a man of the people, and I decided to pick something simply because it's a fan favorite. Dan, who I do believe is still here in the chat, I went with this. I'm going to pull this one out of the bag. I like pulling the books out of the bag so you guys can see them in all their pure glory. We know Dan is a huge fan of Defenders.
He sure is.
Issue number 3.
Oh, number 3.
Gods.
Damn.
Yeah, very early copy. Nice, higher grade. Definitely looking like a fine plus to very fine minus copy.
The colors really pop there, man.
Yep.
Yeah, nice and glossy. Gonna give it a press.
Very nice.
That's awesome. That is a nice pickup.
All those early Defenders are good to grab if you can get them.
Yeah, Dan's a little biased here, but he says you win.
That's what's up.
You absolutely win. By the way, just got to say hi to this guy right here who just popped in the chat. Where is he? We all know him. We all love him. His name is Sith Lordly. He's saying hello to Justin over here.
I was just on his channel Wednesday.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Hanging out. He's a good guy. Really good guy.
Him and Azores Tiger, awesome people. Awesome people. All right. You know who else is awesome people? Our audience here. And we are going to get in our final look-see here. Union Josh Comics. I do believe he is based in the UK, but and comic shops apparently just opened up here. This is a nice pickup here. Nice. Got my fresh gets from the comic shop, and I was tagged for first appearance Friday, and I'll throw first issue Friday as well. So here is Captain America 192, the first appearance of Carla Sofen, who becomes Moonstone. A lot of talk of Moonstone these days. This is a really good pickup as well. I love that cover. I'm not sure who's kicking Captain America out of a plane, but he looks out of shape, and Captain America should have whooped his ass. That should not have happened. That's just my opinion. That is just my opinion, guys. I'm sorry. All right, moving on. This is my last fresh get of the week. That was the last audience fresh get of the week. This is what I got. This is an interesting book. Another one that Mikey from Royal Collectibles of Astoria suggested I get. And I saw a lot of buzz online about it too. But you promised me Darkness. This book is not for everybody. I'm going to say that right now. And I'm on the fence. Literally, it is. When I say it's black and white in terms of there's no color in there, but it leans more towards lots of ink than not. And at times, the art is mesmerizing, in my opinion. At times, it looks like they literally took some pictures, which you see from time to time in a lot of comic books, and just traced over it. The story's out there, man. It's just this first-person guy, and he's out of his mind talking about. It's hard for me to explain it. I'm going to pick up the second issue. It's weird, though, but it's definitely not for everybody. I can't recommend this for everybody, but I'm intrigued by it, and the art is just crazy. I'm not going to pull it out, but I was thinking about it.
Behemoth, right?
I'm not going to do it. But guys, that's my third fresh get of the week, and that there ends Fresh from the Comic Shop. How do you guys enter Fresh from the Comic Shop? It's easy. We're going to say it again. Am I right, Chris? Chris, you explain this time. What do you do? What do you do?
Man, first off, you got to hit up your comic shops and grab some awesome books. But we all know that we're all doing that anyways. Then you go to Instagram, you post your picture, and you make sure you hashtag these few. Yep. Tag Comic Book Canon. Comic Book Canon right there. Comic Book Canon. 2 N's. And then you hit that little hashtag FFTCS. That's all you got to do.
And it's that easy, guys.
Every week. Easy.
We appreciate all you guys sending in your fresh gets each and every week. We love showing those off. Justin, we love showing off your books. But that there again ends Fresh from the Comic Shop.